Let me just go on. So tips that will help. The first thing, as you enter the gate, or we go and buy the tickets as Ken just mentioned, grab the Hamvention program booklet. This is the one that was from, I'll just quickly drop it here. This is the one from 2019, the last time we go. And remember, they have a theme. This year's theme is reunion. This one in 2019 is mentoring the next generation for the Hamvention, and that was their logo there with the young person going up the hill with the ham radio operator helping them out, right? And they do great. This is a thick booklet. This is not a cheap thing. This is a colored booklet with all the maps that are in there for building 1, building 2 that are inside it. Also in here is the actual grounds and what each number is associated with and the large area. So you have parking over here and the handicap parking, if we can get close, which is the H, we're right near the gates. This is a big, huge area with vendors. This whole area is with vendors. The 3 major buildings that are there, these buildings have all the forums in it. All the food vendors are along here. And then you get the flea market spaces in the middle of that racetrack all around it. And throughout it, you've got hundreds and hundreds of flea market vendors that are there selling their wares and that. So to walk from here to here, you're over 1.5 kilometers. So it's a lot of walking and around with it. So be prepared. Again, comfortable shoes, but this directory is almost the Bible. And of course, they've got all the great advertising on the latest radios that they're releasing, everything with it. Also,
do you buy that?
No, it's free. It's free. When you buy your ticket, they give you this free.
Oh, okay.
So it's really nice. In here, there's a table of contents with all the information that you're looking for. It gives you all the times of the days and when it's open, what's taking place. And then the other thing is, which is really nice, let me just move. And of course, there's information. Yeah.
Do they have I know the other flea markets, they do have food courts.
Yes.
And they have areas that you could sit down.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they've got actually, and Rusty will tell you this and that, the old Dayton at the Har Arena, oh my God, they had a couple of food vendors out there, but you're taking your life in your hands when you ate from them because they'd be flipping burgers, they'd throw it on the grill, and they flip it once or twice, 30 seconds later, you're getting that hamburger, you open the hamburger.
No, the reason I'm mentioning it, that if you're tired, you can find one of them areas and you can sit down for 5-10 minutes. You know, you don't have to purchase anything. It's just, you know, if you're tired, you sit down and have your bottle of water. That was my concern.
Yeah. Well, the actual where the racetrack is, there are bleachers right on one side of it where you can go and sit there. But throughout the whole vendor, there's all kinds of benches, there's rails, there's porta potties just about everywhere if you need to go to the washroom. They've got it very well set out. Also, if you're looking for a particular vendor, the list of vendors are in here. And this is the food court picture right here. So all these numbers that you see around here, and these are the food court people. All right, so you've got
the food court is the area outside the buildings in between. So there's kind of a park area there, and that's where there's chairs and vendors all the way around.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you've got the list of all your exhibitors, right? So if you're looking for something that, say you want Cushcraft antennas, look down to see Cushcraft. They're at thing in building 2. So you go over to building 2, look there, and bang, you know, they've got all the buildings all listed, everything. So definitely pick up one of these. It's a must when you walk through the doors.
If I could, is there seminars and presentations?
Absolutely, I forgot
and do people use them? Like, is there valuable? I guess?
Oh my God, it's beautiful. So what happens is when you go there, you're going to see pages like this, forums, okay? And there's the forums list, and it gives you the time, what building they're in, and that with it. So in 2019, just to give you some ideas, remote access to your ham radio station using remote technology, ARRL lab, trials, tribulations, and tall tales. Moderators share HFMCOM for emergency communications. Parks on the Air, APRS forum, Mars from Hamvention, digital contesting, instructors forum, Collins Radio, Homeland Security Forum, D-Star, System Fusion, kit building, balloon stat forum, contesting, National Weather Service forum, out of this world ham radio via amateur radio on the ISS, International Space Station, techniques of the best operating practices in contesting, using kit cards, antenna forums, building your own antenna, how to put them together, ham radio and the law, ARRL public service communication panel discussions, ladies forum on the ladies radio relay league, system fusion forum, software defined radios, 75 years of CQ, Morse code presentations, Ham Nation. All the people from the Ham Nation are there. Youth forum on what's happening. Fox hunting, how to go about that. I mean, the list goes on. There's page after page after page of forums. Any topic that you want to go and see, you figure out, okay, Saturday afternoon, 2 o'clock, building 3, and that you go in, they're all air conditioned, beautiful seats to sit in there. The presentation's about an hour. You get a chance to rest and watch these forums and learn about that. That's half the fun of going to the Hamvention for sure there. So thank you for mentioning that, Ted.
One thing, Al.
Yeah.
Just going back a little bit, when you're talking about the food courts, remember there's 30,000 people there and they all want to eat at the same time. So sometimes you get stuck in a line for 25, 30 minutes, you know, to get whatever food that you'd like to get.
That's
so
right.
You just have to be careful that way.
Yeah. So you may want to have lunch at 11 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the afternoon versus 12 noon, right?
Exactly,
so you gotta teeter it, or you get a good buddy like Pat who will stand in line for 2 hours for you for your and he'll get your lunch for you.
I'm eating sandwiches at the truck, sorry.
For a phenomenal fee, fee, Pat will do that.
Yeah, I'm eating at the truck. We're going to have sandwiches for sure.
There you go. All right. If you're looking at a particular item, a high ticket item or a radio, as Ken was alluding to too, any purchases from commercial dealers, do it first thing Friday morning as the gates open. All right. Because I've done it and I've gone and I've said HRO, okay, I'm looking for this radio. How many have you got in stock? He looks behind it. He says, I got 150 of them. No problem. I go back at noon. I've got 75 left. Go back the next morning thinking, okay, I thought about it overnight. I'm going to get one. Sorry, they all sold out yesterday afternoon. You know, I can order you one. It'll take 3 weeks to ship it to you. Well, shit, I just drove all the way from Canada down here to buy this radio. So if you really want a radio, check the various vendors, see what your best deal. They're usually not that far off one another. Go and get it first thing Friday morning. And then you've got it, right? because, and this year we don't know what the stock is going to be. We may get down there and say, yeah, we don't have any. I mean, go to HRO now and you'll see that half the radios are not available. So are they going to be available at Dayton? No, but they'll take your name. Well, I could have done that back in them, right? So something to think about. I can't tell you how it's going to be this year. Maybe they're going to get big shipments before Dayton, but who knows? If this is your first time, it is very overwhelming. There is no doubt. The first year I went to Dayton, my jaw was, right? And yes, it was a wonderful experience, but I didn't see half the stuff because I was just, should I go here? Could I go here? So take your time, slow down. You have 3 days to check things out. You know, pace yourself, go through the commercial vendors in the buildings, maybe first that afternoon, go out and walk the flea market, go back to the commercial vendors, check things out, go back and forth, talk to some of the other guys and that with it, right? You've got 3 days, so don't worry about it. You'll get to see everything, but it can be overwhelming when you first walk in there. Again, pace yourself, take plenty of breaks, and I can't stress it enough, anybody that's gone, drink lots of water, right? Stay hydrated because you do not want to get sunstroke. Check prices on items at commercial dealers. They might be savings between the dealers. Not a lot, but, and wait and see what happens. As Pat told you before, one item on the Thursday night, we checked online, it was X amount of dollars, and by the time we got to Dayton Friday morning, it was $300 the night before off at the Dayton. They will give you, and the dealers will come up, so ICOM will go to HRO and say, knock $100 off these radios right now. Just knock $100 off them, right? And yeah, you're going to get good deals. So if you're looking at buying a radio, this is the place to buy it, even with the American exchange, the taxes, and that. Now you've got to work it all out, right? But we're hoping that it's going to be good that way. Go to the dealer's booth. This is the nice thing about it. You're not certain about a radio. If you're looking at an ICOM, a Yaesu, Kenwood, Alinco, whatever radio you're looking at, go to their booth, go to the radio. They have them all out on display. Play with it. You know, push the buttons, turn it on, turn it off, look at the back, say, hey, Mr. Dealer, come over here. Will this do this? I want to set this up for this type of FT8 operation. I'm looking at projecting it up on my big screen TV. Will this radio do that? They will tell you, no, yes, it will, but you need this, this, and this to do it that way, right? Before you purchase it. So go and play with it. See what you think and go from there.
Alan?
Yes.
Could I interrupt for just a second? Wish everybody a happy Easter. I've got to go. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I will miss
Happy
your annual
Easter.
meeting because I will be in Florida with my brother for a
Oh,
week.
Wonderful.
Then I'll be back. So happy Easter, everybody. And
Okay. Happy Easter, Krista. Great to see you.
Happy
Easter.
Dayton. This is an incredible list that you're getting from Al. Heat it well.
Thank you.
But I'll probably see you before that.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Okay, Krista. God bless. Take care.
Bye-bye, Krista.
Bye-bye.
So yeah, so it's you know, it's great. And Krista's gone to Hamvention, as did Dr. Dave for years. I'm certainly going to miss him this year, indeed. Call on the radio for fellow hams to come and check out some of your items that you're thinking of purchasing, right? Don't hesitate. Some of us been there, we experienced a little bit and that with it. And also share your wish list with others in case they come across the items that we mentioned with it that way. In the outside flea market, again, they accept only American money. So if you're thinking you can, I've got 100 Canadian in my pocket, maybe they'll take that. They won't even look at it. If it's got a picture of the Queen or any of our prime ministers or whatever, forget it. They're not even going to look at it that way. Don't pay the price that they want. Be willing to walk away, and guess what? You're going to be called back. So if the guys, you got an item there, want $50, and you say, no, I'm not paying 50. I'll give you 20 for it. No, I can't take 20. Oh my God, no. Okay, thank you. Well, come on back here. How about 30? You know, it's the bartering system at this. This is the way it works out, and how it works that way with it. So be able to walk away with it and that with it. Buyer beware. Check the device out. Hopefully, a lot of the flea market, if they're selling a radio, hopefully he's bought a generator or a battery along that can hook up the radio, turn it on, show you that it works, or whatever the case is, you know. I mean, again, you've got to buyer beware. If you do decide to purchase something, get his name, see if he's got a card or whatever the case is, and write down the space number in the flea market area. Because that night, if you buy stuff, we will check things out back in the hotel rooms. And whether we hook it up to a battery in the vehicles or whatever the case is, we usually have some portable stuff that we can check things out with. And if it's garbage, we'll march you back the next morning and say, hey, this thing I bought from you yesterday is garbage, providing the flea market guy hasn't taken off and you'll never see him again. So remember, if you're buying used stuff, you can get some great bargains and works really well, or you can get back home and find, I just spent $50 for nothing because it's garbage. So it's the way the game plays, right? If you really want to buy it, as it may be gone and you won't find another one, there's twofold. And I know, Rusty, we've done this many times. We've walked along. I think there was one year we went and got those Impress chargers, right? We walked along and we were looking for the Sabre radios, and I called to Rusty on the radio and I said, hey, Rusty, I've got them here for a $50 a charger. Pretty good price. They're brand new in the box. A guy out in the flea market selling them, right? So yeah, pick me up one. I'll take one too. So we bought them at $50 and thought, hey, we made a great deal, because to buy them off a commercial vendor inside, you're paying over $100. So we were saving $50. We walked down the aisle, and 4 flea market spaces down the aisle, they were on for 30. Same type of things, brand new in the box, right? So you never know, right? If you get it. Chances are, if we left those boxes of chargers and we really wanted them, and we walked down and rose, and now we think, okay, that's the best price we've seen, let's go back and get them. The guy says, no, sorry, I'm all sold out. You know, so it's juggling, right? You got to determine whether it's good to go with or not. You're going to get burned. Expect to get burned at something. You're going to pick something up and you're going to see it cheaper down the road or whatever the case is. But that's half the fun of dating.
Well, the other thing you can do is, if you bought something, don't look for it again, and don't look at the prices. You will find you'll find it cheaper somewhere else. Let's just
absolutely, Ken. Yeah, exactly. Walk around as a team. If it's your first year there, say, hey, Al or Ken or somebody, can you come with me and just go down the aisles a few just to walk with me? Absolutely. That's half the fun. You know, I used to go with everyone, said, hey, Rusty, you need this. Rusty, you need this too. Go ahead and buy this, Rusty, and everything. And he says, Al, go on your own there. You're a pain in the ass, you know. So, I mean, you do whatever you do, but no, we'll go in their sense, and then you'll say to somebody, I'm going to go off on my own and check out some stuff. I'll call you back on the radio, and we'll hook up another half hour, an hour from now, and do it that way. And that's the nice thing about it. There's no set rules with it. Again, share your want list with other members. They can come across the items that you're looking for out there. And there's some good deals to be had. Don't get me wrong. Some of those vendors are very reputable people. And like I said, chat with the flea market vendors. They're wonderful amateurs. They're from all over the world. And if you walk around with a ball cap with your call sign, they'll say, hey, you're Canadian. I used to go up there fishing. And, oh, yeah, what part? You know, and then a conversation opens up, and then you find out that you've got things in common, and it's like doing a CQ on the radio channel, right? We're all in the same nature, and there's some wonderful people out there. And you'll see some characters. There's different ones, different vendors. Rusty and I got hooked up with a bunch of Korean guys there selling these what were they, those media players and stuff.
Android
Come now, you
boxes.
need to buy one right now, you know, and all this. It was a real entertaining thing, but you'll see characters from all over the world there. It's an amazing experience, believe me. And wear your call sign or hat or a badge or something, and you can, there's vendors down there. So if you don't have one, you can get vests, you can get your name and call sign printed on vests, on hats, you can get a badge made up, anything that you want. I just got one sent to me in the mail here from RAC with my call sign and my new position as vice president when I'm at the RAC booth. So you know, it's good that way. And just having a little name tag like that on your thing, people will look at that when you walk up to a booth or something like that and say, oh, you're from Canada, or whatever the case is. And it works pretty good with it. So to close, 10 reasons to go to the Hamvention. First one, you're missing ham radio friends, right? We haven't got together in 2 years. And that it's been pretty rough, and that I'm hoping after our annual general meeting next week, we're going to open up. We're going to be able to get together for contests. We're looking at starting the breakfasts again. We're looking at you know, having different events taking place where we're going to get back and socialize as this pandemic ends. But this is some place to go and see how it works out. Attending the information forums. What a wealth of information. I get to meet a lot of hams. If you were on the CanNet last night with D-Star, people like Will, W8CAN, Bill, KC8YQL. These are good fellas that I've met at the Hamvention at some of the forums for D-Star and that. And you make long-term relationships and you keep in touch with them. The experience is second by none. And some of you know I usually go to the D-Star Forum on Friday evening, which is a great presentation by the Georgia Amateur Radio Group, and then we go out for dinner afterwards or whatever. But it's entirely up to whoever wants to do whatever. So there's that. New equipment introduction. If any of the companies are going to release a new radio or that, Dayton is usually the time that they project it. Okay, they may not have it available, but things like they had, the 705 was in 2019 when we went, or 2020 at the Orlando Hamcation. They launched the 705. It wasn't for sale at the time, but you could go and play with it. The new handhelds, the new radios that are there, this is where they launch it. So seeing what new stuff is coming down the pipes. Another reason to go and see what's happening. As some of you, if you were on the D-Star net last night, Bill, KC8YQL, came out and said RF Shark are now coming out with the Open Spot 4. And there's a picture of it on their website right now. They don't have much information. They said information coming. But now they've got the new picture of the ham Open Spot 4. So there's something new. Maybe they'll have a prototype at Dayton and that. Visit the dealers and play with the equipment. That's what they're there for. They've got every conceivable radio set up, whether you're looking for a handheld, a mobile radio, HF, whatever. They're set up at their booths. Go and play with them. They're on display. Talk to the dealers, get some information behind it, especially if you're looking at a big ticket item. Every year, they come out with a new ham gadget. It can be one of those VNA Nanos, was one year. Another year, it could be a new meter. It could be a Bullfang radio. It could be some type of new ham radio that's not all that expensive, but everybody's buying one. Like, what's the latest ticket item that everybody is interested in? And they usually launch it at Dayton and that with it. So pretty neat stuff that way with it. Walk the flea market and find that gem. There may be something that, you know what, you weren't expecting to buy, but you come across it and you think, geez, that's a good price for it. I'm thinking about, I want to set up this and that, and the guy gives you a good deal for it, and you pick it up and it's a gem. It's the pride and joy of going to Dayton. I got this item where, and there's an old saying, if it's not at Dayton, they don't make it. Right? So anything you're looking for in amateur radio, if you're going to find it, it's going to be at Dayton, because whether it's out in the flea market, it's the vendors, they're there, right? So it's you may find that diamond in the rough, right? Have fun sharing experience with fellow hams, as Ken alluded to at the beginning of the presentation. One of the main reasons for going is just sharing the experience with one another and having fun with everyone. Another thing is freebie giveaways. If you're at it, go to every single dealer. They'll have stuff like, you know, I went to ICOM, I got a mouse pad, ball caps, maps on the wall, pens, keychains, little flashlights, you name it. There's every vendor has giveaway items, and you can come back with a shopping bag full of stuff, whether you need it. You know, it could be notepads, you know, notepads with the name of ICOM on it or whatever, which are handy in the shack to take notes on and that with it. Pens, you name it. It depends what they're, you know, giving away. So all kinds of things, charts with all the band plans on it, the grid squares, all those type of information are definitely there. Bargains are to be had. Hard items can be found. So if you're looking for stuff that you couldn't find on the internet, guess what? It may be there at Dayton. May not be, but it may be. And chances are you may find it. Last but not least, to take part in the Hamvention experience, to say, you know what, at least once in my life I got to Dayton and I got to experience this. Like I said, it will ruin you for other flea markets. You'll go down to Markham in the fall in Southern Ontario, and it goes from 9 a.m. to 12 noon, right? And you've seen everything 15 times over. Dayton, you may walk around 3 days and not see everything, right? So hard to say. Anyway, any final thoughts from anyone? Has anybody got any questions, comments, discussions? Anyway, thanks for listening, people. I know this was a very long presentation today, but wanted to go over everything with you. So
yeah, Al,
that's it. Yeah.
Al, earlier in the presentation, you mentioned about the radios, the DMR radios, etc. I'm not sure if you talked about the setups or the frequencies or, you know, the code plugs for the trip. Would we be coordinating anything like that?
What I'm hoping to do, and the final, this is the list that I have. There'll be myself, there's Brian, okay, my son, VA3 BBQ, his new fiance, Ricky, she'll be coming. There's Tom, VA3 TSS. There is Ted, VA3 CTE. Sue, V3 LDE. We have Dennis, V3 OOZ. We have Pat, V3 HZQ. And we have Ken, V3 PHC. Now, those are the ones that have basically confirmed as it stands now. This could change. Tentative, we may have Dennis, VA3 DCB. We may have John, V3 BB from Southern Ontario. And we may have Claude also going. So, and maybe somebody that watched this presentation this morning. May think over the next week. Yeah, maybe I'll go. I mean, if everything explodes and they do a big lockdown in 2 to 3 weeks, well, this may all have to change. We may have to phone cancel reservations or whatever the case is. But as it stands now, like I said, I just spent a week in Toronto, and if I don't get sick over the next week, touch wood or whatever, then I know if I can go through that experience, hopefully if I take cautions and that, I mean, Claude spent all winter down in Arizona. My son just went to Florida. He's been fine. He's been home a week and he's great. So, things are going. We're going to take precautions. We're going to wear masks. We're going to do what we need to do.
Yeah.
And that, what's that?
We'll have to bring hand sanitizer too.
Oh yeah, we'll bring hand sanitizer. And I know Ohio is very strict too, so they're going to probably regulate it. If we're in the buildings, we need to wear masks and that. Now, everybody doesn't follow the rules. I mean, we can't help that, but you just keep away from those individuals and do the best you can. So